22 million black victims of Americanism are waking up, and they're gaining a new political consciousness, becoming politically mature. And as they develop this political maturity, they're able to see the recent trends in these political elections. Any minority that has a block of votes that stick together is in a strategic position. Either way you go, that's who gets it. You're in a position to determine who go to the White House and who stay in the doghouse. You're the one who has that power. You and I have never seen democracy. All we've seen is hypocrisy. When we open our eyes today and look around America, we see America not through the eyes of someone who has enjoyed the fruits of Americanism. We see America through the eyes of someone who has been the victim of Americanism. We don't see any American dream. We've experienced only the American nightmare. We haven't benefited from America's democracy. We've only suffered from America's hypocrisy. And the generation that's coming up now can see it and are not afraid to say it.
And they're not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it.
And are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it. And are not afraid to say it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to People Before Politics Radio, blackwestchester.com, every Sunday 6 to 8 on inthemixradio.com. Today we're going to be discussing the whole situation that's been going down with the recent shootings nationwide. We're going to be dealing with that with the police and the black lives that have been lost at the hands of law enforcement. We got, of course, as always, Damon K. Jones in the building, who, on top of being the host of People Before Politics and the publisher of Black Westchester, is also the New York rep of Blacks in Law Enforcement of America and a 26-year veteran in the Westchester Correction system. So, say what's up, D.
Yo. What up?
We got Dr. Robert Baskerville, a.k.a. Brooklyn Bob, a.k.a.
PhD.
PhD?
Yeah, you know it. PhD.
Okay.
Yo, we gotta get like every time Brooklyn Bob, you gotta get something to go PhD.
Yeah. No doubt.
Now I wanted to say PhD with
That's what I thought he said.
G.
Oh,
So
PH gangster.
Well, you know, listen.
He's a gangster.
You know,
PhD.
He's a
gangster of the intellect.
Yo, I want to give a shout out real quick to the Certified Epic Sunday show. They come on before us from 4 to 6. Towards the end of the show, they were dealing a little bit with the issues, kind of like a prelude to what we was going on. They had my man DK on the show, breaking some stuff down for them. So shout to them. Black listens to the show every week. Who knows? He might call in. We got some other people that might call in, former law enforcement. I reached out to Corey and a few other people to see if they was available. So we'll see who's going to hit the horns later on. We're going to discuss it all. We're going to break it down. Let's just get right into it. Bob, would you like to say a few words? Because Damon, you might not. Damon get started, you might have.
No, let Bob rock. You
might have 20 minutes before Damon, for you even get a chance to touch the mic. So you know what I'm saying? Like, how did this situation make you feel as a black man in America? No, go ahead.
For one, I was deeply, deeply saddened to have to have a bird's eye view as a result of the video that was taken of the two brothers who were killed. I don't even know. I'm exhausted, quite honestly. I'm exhausted, and it was exhausting to have to witness it. Both of these brothers lose their lives in such a violent and seemingly unjustified manner, and my heart really went out, especially to the young sister who had to watch her boyfriend pass away in her own arms. While she was courageous in narrating what happened, you know, the realization that this man's life was reaching its final conclusion, I think was heartbreaking. I have lost two brothers to
Personally.
violence under very different circumstances, but
Brothers, brother. Not that.
Nah,
just
nah,
the
nah,
technical
nah,
term
nah,
slang. Your brothers.
my literal brothers,
Right.
both died violent deaths, one under mysterious circumstances on the streets of Mount Vernon. And so it conjured up all that pain, and especially, you know, my family has to relive this other day. This is the anniversary of my brother Parrish, also known as Unique, was last week on the 5th of July, and my mom, you know, it's hard for us to even as a family to fully celebrate to the extent that we can, just a day off, as we were saying last week. You know, hard to really even, you know, enjoy it fully because we're all struggling. You know, we have to relive that trauma, and I know my mom relives it especially. And so, you know, it just hit all those sore points. And then after that, to have it followed up with the act of spectacular violence that the brother committed in Dallas, and you know everything that came with that. You know, it's left me drained and almost speechless. You can see from my demeanor.
Now, y'all don't know. We had a cookout last night. Brooklyn Bob was far from speechless last night. No, he was banging on tables. No.
I was my normal self.
Damn, girl, you done got black.
Word.
Lord,
I'm talking about from a.
you
Just
look
like
you
candy.
You look, girl, come over here. You look Ethiopian black.
Wait, but
That's
David,
what I'm trying to
but
tell you.
Da-
Ain't
but
nothing
David-
wrong with being black, baby.
but David-
but I'm like, wow, what the
David,
hell?
but
That's
David,
son.
she got black
Son, I'm
since
trying to catch up to
2 hours
y'all.
ago when I seen her. She got blacker. She just got blacker. Like, yo, word up. I just seen her 2 hours ago.
I did indeed. Hello, everyone.
What y'all doing, man?
Oh, so
looking for,
for everybody who doesn't know, the lovely lady who has just entered the studio is Priscilla Ichi that holds us down. She's the one that be scheduling the appointments. You know, trying to find out why people ain't showing up when they supposed to.
They sick me on them.
When I need a comment and I can't get them, she'll call them 18 times until she gets them.
Absolutely.
Or knock on their door sometimes.
The
if they
drive-by.
happen to
Call
be in
that
the
the
White Plains area,
infamous
you know what I'm
drive-by.
saying? So she be holding us down, and she's doing a
Yes.
lot of work with the Rough Riders, and we're going to talk a little
Absolutely.
bit about that. And
Yes.
I think possibly D's going to call back up here because he
Yeah.
called the earlier show. And I think we might have an artist from Rough Riders come through, and
Yeah, he's
hopefully we can
coming.
get him to speak about this recent situation because I want to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
more about that from cats on the block. Like, you know what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
what they feel, especially any artists. So, you know.
And he's knee deep in the heart of Harlem, so he goes through it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He's
Harlem,
in
yeah.
touch with the people. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the introductions. So yeah. And once again, shout to my man Black in the building. You know what I'm saying? Always.
Yeah, I get it. I gotta get a copy of that, man. 'Cause I like talk. We gotta get a DJ in here to play music while we
That's
talking.
right.
No doubt.
That
No
was
doubt.
kind of fly.
Yeah. Where Mighty at? Yeah.
I can't wait to come back next week and talk while music is playing.
Exactly.
I feel like a rapper.
And I ain't gonna say no name, but we did have somebody who was scheduled to come periodically.
Before,
Ain't been here.
I
Ain't been
remember.
here
And we ain't seen him
Can I
since.
say the name?
He ain't been here yet.
Jericho.
Jericho. Did anybody seen Jericho?
Yes,
Anybody in the
Paging
tri-state
Jericho.
seen Jericho?
The voice of Westchester.
Yeah,
Yes.
but not the voice of people before politics, because
Yes.
we have never heard his voice on people before politics.
We need his music.
Yes.
his music.
So we're gonna have to work that out because that was an original plan to have somebody spend a little bit. Know what I mean? If everything is working now, we got this thing that we tweaking stuff as we go along. If everything is working correctly today, you should be able to go onto the In the Mix Radio Facebook page and watch the show on Facebook Live. All of y'all are having problems that watching it on your phones or who call up to tie up the phone lines to listen on their phone. Facebook Live is one of the things they're tweaking now, and eventually, hopefully today, we will have this on lock, and you can that'll change the game. You can watch it on Facebook Live.
Well,
As we seen this week, Facebook, shout for Facebook Live, whoever came
Oh,
up with
man.
that, because Facebook Live changed the game
It did.
this week because, whenever it gone on, people's taking pictures and people are always shooting video, but then you got to go load it up. Facebook Live, you hit the button, it broadcasts
on.
right then and there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Whatever
changed the
happens,
game.
you ain't got to worry about somebody taking the camera from you and trying to breaking whatever it pick up right then and there. So
Absolutely.
I think that was a game changer.
Absolutely.
Because it's instant. Even when the girl was like, "Yo," she told everybody in her community, "I'm on the corner of such and such and such and such. Everybody who know me, come to this corner.
Oh, boy.
I'm here with my daughter in the back of the police car." I mean, and people started showing up. So you know what I'm saying?
Down,
So
right.
yeah,
right.
yeah. You can't do that, if you had the video, and by the time you post it, it ain't live no more. So
Right.
Facebook Live has definitely put their foot in Periscope's butt real quick because
Right.
they kicked
yeah,
it.
isn't that what Periscope was for?
Periscope was killing it for a minute. Everybody was periscoping it
And
up.
Snapchat.
Facebook Live has changed the game. I don't know what they be
Caught
doing
that
over
murder
there, but they figure,
the other
they gonna keep up on technology. But
Absolutely.
DK, I know I ain't even gotta ask you. I'm just gonna pass the mic and just let you talk. I ain't gotta even set you up. Man.
Yo,
To the man that needs no introduction.
Right.
No, good.
Hulk.
The Hulk.
The Hulk.
yeah, listen, I
Superheroes have feelings too.
yeah, we do, man, we do. But as I was saying on ET6, part of the problem that we have, part of the problem we continue to have these problems is that black law enforcement, man, we don't stand up. We don't organize
And speak out about it. Well, they're
That's-
afraid to be.
Well,
be
then,
fired.
what? You know what? If you afraid, see, this is the problem here. This is the problem, and I hope everybody that's in any law enforcement department understand. Black people fought for us to have these jobs.
Right.
We didn't. They died for us to have these jobs. They protested. They did sit-ins for us to be a part of this institution,
Right.
regardless of the fact.
Right.
And then for they not seeing black law enforcement and actually standing up for the community that actually worked hard, it's
Right.
discouraging.
Very.
You listen. Nobody, if you got 20 years on a job
Right.
to 10 years on or whatever,
Right.
that job is just not popping your lap.
Right.
That job did not pop in your lap. And if you talk to law enforcement elders, man, they used to give black people algebra to keep them from taking the job. They had to go to court to get
Wow.
algebra taken off these police tests. And they still figuring out ways
They
to
were giving them that so that they would fail.
right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different when you went to apply to vote and they got a jar of gumballs and say how many,
Right,
how many's in the
right,
jar.
right.
It's issues like that, and they fought hard, to get all these barriers away, so
Broken,
we're able to take the test, apply for it, and then you get the job and you become some Negro. That because you got a little
you just
money,
conform to the BS.
No, yeah, and you think
Right.
you ain't part of the community because you could buy a Benz and wear jewelry and buy Jordans, and make some overtime. But
Right.
that's not why people put you there.
Right, right.
That's the benefit of being in law enforcement.
Right.
Be able to take care of your family, but also the people that fought hard for us to have these jobs. Look at us for responsibility, and when we stay silent. And we not only we stay silent when black people are shot and killed, we stay silent when black police are shot and killed by white cops.
Right.
So we don't
Well,
even stand up for our own.
The young lady that spoke up about the murder with Alton Sterling,
The
she was
officer?
fired.
No,
Yeah,
she wasn't. No,
or suspended.
she was. We don't know what she was because the mayor put out a statement, and AJ, you could talk about that.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
going to deal with this. So
You
we wrote.
researched that.
I wrote the story right because I was a little upset
Mm-hmm.
that a black female cop in Cleveland who spoke her mind
Passionately.
on Facebook Live again was suspended from her job while talking about a situation where two white cops in Baton Rouge killed a black man and they were given paid administrative
Paid.
leave.
paid.
So now I caught some flack. Everybody say, "Oh, she's not fired. She's not suspended." She did the press conference, and see, the mayor released a statement, and it's not in the words that he used. I wrote that in my column today. It's in the words he doesn't use. He says she is not fired. She is not suspended. She is working full time. He never said she wasn't suspended.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And with all the media, when everybody's writing something and everything, the first thing you do, we want to clear up this misconception that's in the media that she was ever suspended. She was never suspended.
Right.
The fact that he didn't say those words and all this to say she is not suspended.
Right.
Now, this is my editorial opinion. The police commissioner suspended her behind to give them the Negro wake-up call for any other black people to not break the blue wall of silence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just in case any other black people decided to make some comments. The mayor was like, oh no, we can't do that, and said, nope, cancel that suspension. Right. And then put out a statement, no, she's not suspended.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I believe that's what happened. The
Damon.
second thing is in the interview she did with WNKC, I think it is, Cleveland 3. It's on Black Westchester right now. They asked her, the reporter says, so when do you think you will be back out on the street? She said, I can't confirm that.
Unreal.
So when you put all that together, something obviously happened,
yeah,
and then it got quickly
swept under
the rug. So I still stand by everything I said in that editorial. Something happened, and Black Westchester will be paying full attention that if there's any retaliation against this or any other black cops in that area, and I got the information for them to contact anybody to contact me.
Right.
We're gonna put the word out there. So that's what it is.
I mean, I do want to say that in some respect, the mayor does need to be applauded for overriding a poorly thought out act of
Yes,
administrative
Right.
retribution on the part of the police commissioner. Too often in the past, mayors would have simply acceded to what was.
I mean, but that's what a
injustice.
reasonable.
No, but listen, we haven't had
Mayor.
reasonable.
We don't have
mayors.
that now.
That's one of the problems.
And we
now.
don't have that
It's
now.
Too often that
Right.
mayors kind of accede to the logic of racist policing policies and internal discipline. So for whatever the mayor's motivation, whether it's because he truly thought it was unjust or he thought that it would be bad politics, he's to be commended, and those who have taken a forceful stance in making known their displeasure towards how our police departments are being managed. That is largely Black Lives Matter movement. Brothers and sisters who are out there on the ground are to be applauded and encouraged to continue to stand up.
Right. Damon, I have a question for you. How did they treat you when you first started to speak truth to power?
Treated me like shit.
They did.
But you got to understand though. See, it was a difference when I started in 1990. There were black law enforcement was strong.
Right.
They were more united, and they didn't take no shit.
Right.
You understand? So I came up when I got the job. I came up under warriors that were literally, I remember when I started, right, and I was going through one of the doors and in the control, and I had a few words with a white officer, and then when I went back where I was at, he called and said some smart words, right? Oh, we're gonna meet you in the parking lot. That was the thing back then. We used to fight in the parking lot all the time. But but the whole thing is,
Thank God I
I didn't know this guy, so
Right.
I called somebody, so he let him know, like, listen,
Right.
you're gonna meet him in the parking lot, meet my little brother in the parking lot. We gonna be waiting there with him.
Right.
You understand? So
It was more together.
Right, it was more together. Now, people scared to be they scared to be part of a black,
movement,
organization or anything.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, why you They rather look black. I see black law enforcement would rather join the Emerald Society, which has nothing to do with black culture. They will join the Emerald Society, which is nothing wrong with joining the Emerald Society if you want to join the Emerald Society. But they will join the Emerald Society before they join the Guardians of Blacks in Law Enforcement or anything like that.
Right.
And it behooves me.
Right.
You know, it really behooves me. So that means that we just lost all total identity.
Right.
You know, we lost the history of the struggle of black law enforcement. There's cops right now that don't even know, you know, the jail was named after a black man, Nordy Jackson. They don't even, probably correctional officers probably don't think Nordy Jackson is probably white and his face is right there in the lobby and they probably don't even pay no attention to it. You know, we
thought he was a retired inmate.
right. You know, so it's like when you sit back and you look at, you know, how far we are falling away from where our ancestors
in every area.
Right. But law enforcement, you know, just law enforcement it really saddens. It really saddens me.
Right.
You know, because they have no self-identity.
No backbone.
No, it's not even backbone. It's just self-identity.
Right.
Because they would they say, oh, you don't want to be a part of that, man. You know, and they listen. You know, and they listen, and then they allow. You know what I hate? I hate when, oh well, so and so, you know, said something about you, man. You know, I know you ain't racist. I said, well, why you ain't tell that to that motherfucker? Why you coming back to me and saying that? Why you
feel
stand up and say, hey, listen, man, don't be talking about that brother. That brother, you don't say nothing. You just you holler and you just listen. You know, like the spook that sat by the door, and then you come back and tell me.
Yeah.
Well, now I gotta go find. What you want me to go find him and cuss him out after the fact? You should have checked them right then and there.
There's no unity.
When you do that, then they understand that people are together. We don't get it anymore. You know,
that's a fact.
You know, I'm just so happy that I'm at my end. You know, because these young black people, if they do not get it together. It's not about money. It's not about overtime. That's great.
Right.
That's part of the perks. That's the perks that people fought for. It's about you representing your community and you representing your people. If you don't understand that, then, you know, I mean, we're lost. We don't even have a black commissioner in Westchester County.
Right.
Not one. And ain't nobody outraged.
Right.
And nobody is saying why.
Right.
Nobody's saying why.
Except for Black Westchester.
Except for Black Westchester. But, you know, nobody else is saying why. It's business as usual.
Absolutely.
It's business as usual. You know, so, you know, it's just, it's sad.
And I want to
sad.
ask you a question for clarification for those that don't know. You said brothers would rather join, what you said, the Emerald Society?
Emerald Society.
Emerald is green. Is that Irish?
Yes.
Okay.
I was about
I
to
just
say
wanted to be
that,
clear
right.
on that. Like I'm sure
They would
everybody
rather be an Irishman and on St. Patrick's Day wear green berets and stand in parades, right? Then rock with a black law enforcement organization. You know, and they don't even, you know, and I just tell the young brothers, I said, yo, just one time go to a conference, man, and just once and see and meet your brothers and sisters from all over the world.
But how about the corruption that takes place when some of our people get into power? That's another issue. Like, should we go into that or no? You just want to?
I don't know. I don't know what type of corruption you're talking about.
I'm talking about when we get into power. Sometimes it gets to our heads, and we tend to fire people that may be qualified for the job, or you know.
Well, I mean, that's politics. Though. That's politics.
That's not
basic.
even black and white. That's across the board.
That's just the nature of the beast that you're in.
You're gonna bring in the people that you want to bring in, whether they're qualified or not. You're gonna get rid of the people of the last administration. You're gonna bring the people that's loyal to you.
Right.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, but you gotta have people. You gotta have people do the job.
What it does, what
It
you have
deters
highlighted.
people.
Is the inadequacy of the political strategies that we have followed, which simply require that black faces replace white faces, because
which is not always the answer.
We know too often when people act solely in an individual capacity, when they get into these positions, whether it be a police officer, whether it be a politician, too often they're pursuing their own personal self-interest
Agenda.
and are unwilling to take a moral stance
Right.
on the side of justice.
Absolutely.
And we're
absolutely.
living with
I
that
didn't say
shit
it
right
so
now.
eloquently like Bob here, but you nailed exactly what I was
Well,
trying
And
to
I
say.
just,
Thank you.
I just want to say, and
Encouraging, girl. Let me say something else eloquent.
I just,
Let me think up something right now.
I just want to say for everybody who watches the show, Facebook Live is working well right now. Damon has said it on his page. I've shared it on my page. It's on the People Before Politics page. It's on the In the Mix page. You can catch us on Facebook Live and watch us get it in. And if you don't want to call in, just leave your comment there in the little comment section, and we'll check it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll address it if it needs to be addressed. So for all of y'all tuning in, you are listening to Black Western Presents People Before Politics. We're on every Sunday, 6 to 8 on InTheMixRadio.com. So yeah, yo, one of the conversations that came out yesterday when we was chilling at the Baskerville family barbecue. First off, props to that was your aunt that spoke. Very,
Yes,
you
my
could tell she had been through
Adelaide
the
Parker,
struggle
Di Parker.
back in the days, and let's put it this way. If you know me, you know I don't often sit down and listen. I'm usually doing all the talking, but sometimes when elders are speaking and they're speaking,
You gotta listen.
You got to listen. And she
Yeah.
was dropping some stuff, and I want to pick her brain as often as possible because
Right.
we need to not let those who have knowledge like that and who have been
Absolutely.
through stuff. We all ain't living here too long. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody lives to 105. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But what happens is a lot of our leaders, a lot of our community leaders, like Damon, Napoleon Holmes and them and all of them. Was that his name, Napoleon Holmes?
Napoleon Holmes was the greatest.
When he passed, a wealth of knowledge just
Went
was
with
buried
him.
in that coffin with him.
Wow.
And there was a lot of us like, man, I wish I had talked to him more. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
when I get that opportunity, I like to do that. But then, and with that, us now, we need to be hitting them young cats, Mighty's age and all of them. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
we need to be imparting for those that will listen. We need to be imparting a little bit to them. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't gonna be here forever either. You know what I mean? So
Right.
we need to not, because that's what happens. Like we don't get the knowledge from somebody else, so we
Right.
got to start all over. And then you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We get it, and I ain't telling them knuckleheads nothing. You know what I'm saying? we
Right.
bury the knowledge with us. We need to keep that going. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, but one of the conversations last night was that we were talking about, and was talked about from different angles. There was a gentleman in the room. I don't remember his name.
It's my man Joseph
Okay,
Cunningham.
well, you say his name. Nigga. I wasn't gonna say his name, but
Nah, that's
it was
my
just
man.
all right.
He don't
So
care.
so basically, he was making the point, and it's good. Like when you have those conversations, like in a barbershop or barbecue, whatever, you get a lot of varying points. He made a lot of good points, but one point that he made that Bob didn't agree, and I did not. I understood what he was saying, but one point I did not agree with. He was like, "Yo, me and Damon have said we have seen this coming, and we have said that this was going to come." Eventually, if these killings continue the same way NWA was telling people that was going to go down when the 92 riots happened in LA. They've been telling you that for like 5-10 years now. Nobody was just listening to them. You know what I'm saying? But what my man said, the dude who killed the cops, he made the bold statement that dude was a hero to him. And I thought that was a little bold and brazen, and it definitely set Bob off on a whole nother path. Like, my brother, you know what I'm saying? But I think hero is too great of a word.
Well,
But I understand why he said it.
Right, and see, and this is the divide that has been created because people don't when really black people, let's be honest, we don't know what justice looks like.
That's what I was saying. Yes,
We do not. We have
That's
no
deep.
clue when it comes to police and community relation what real justice look like, because every time we think that there's some justice, it gets pulled away from us. So now we resort to saying that when someone does something like this gentleman did to the Dallas Police Department, you know, we're saying that's justice, but that's not really justice.
Right.
You know, that's not really justice. You know, look, we understand the system, and you know, I wrote a piece, and that was in Lohud, and I said the system is institutional. Racist. It's
For a long time.
It's an institution. And they said, you know, and you know, and everybody gets upset. But that's what Jeffrey Donor was saying, that they drove him to the point he started to kill them.
Right.
You know, because it's an institution that you're up against. And all this started is because he reported a cop doing wrong to a person. And then it ended up him, you know, shooting himself in the head in a cabin to keep them from killing him.
How do you?
I want to answer your question. Somebody answered your question.
Okay.
And I got to jump it back because we're on so many different pages. Frank Shaw said, "Good topic at this time." He said, the problem for those in power, whether it be political officials or law enforcement officers, is the lack of independent oversight and lenient punishments. That was his answer to your question. So I wanted to read that. And then he just wrote something about slave owning George Washington as a hero in this country. by the time a criminal. But he was a criminal to King George.
Right.
One's man hero is another man's goat.
And
that's actually
right.
now. And I think Frank is about to call in right now.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go in. He's going in.
Yo. So anyway,
how do you suggest law enforcement goes about solving this issue? Rosenberg brought up something that was very important. He said, "Why don't the officers?" Rosenberg from the radio, Hot 97. Yeah. Right. Why don't some of the officers get on the front line and speak against the officers that are not doing the right thing?
Well, there are a few, but
they're far and few between.
But
right?
what Rosenberg was on what show?
Right? Hot 97.
Hot 97 don't. Hot 97 don't have them on. Hot 97 BLS, they don't have the black cops that speak out on.
They did.
I don't know who they
had one.
Who?
Not just the other day. They were tagging everybody to it on Facebook because he went in.
All right.
Rosenberg went in on him, and he said, "Why aren't the officers speaking up against the other officers?"
No. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Rosenberg, they don't see the black cops that speak out, we don't get media play. They don't put us on MSNBC.
On the other stations that, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't want Damon on there.
Because look,
just one in and get him on there.
Just one clip with me going into Giuliani got almost 100,000 hits on YouTube.
Right.
Because people never seen that before.
Right.
See, but the whole thing is our black radio stations don't put us on there.
Right. They don't promote
the MSNBC.
Well, the stations that play black music.
Let's change that.
Right.
You know,
I mean, a black radio station.
You know, we don't get put on there. I mean, Corey does a good job, but Corey's selling a book.
Right.
And he has a top-notch publicist.
Right.
Yeah. Frank's on the line in the background talking.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Frank, what's up, my brother? But
I don't know Frank. He's well known apparently.
but we have to understand that they don't put that out there.
Right,
so we don't get. So people don't see it. They only get to see it through YouTube and through Facebook. But they don't. I mean, look, Ron Hampton been in the game for damn near 60 years,
right?
And traveling the country, and we get interviewed by Russia television,
right?
We don't get interviewed by American television.
Here.
You know, when RTT, I said Russia, Jesus Christ,
right?
You know, but I can't.
Yeah, they called you last year. Why are the black cops killing the black people over there?
Right, and
what the hell is going on?
Right.
And the lady
Russia
said
Right.
that
Right.
we are shocked that black cops kill so many black people. Russia is watching.
Wow.
And is, you know, and is bugging out.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world is watching and bugging out. And then we want to talk about China
and get in their business.
Can't
you
have human rights violations. The Chinese is like, are you kidding me? What the hell just happened?
Yeah. They're like, are you kidding me? Did you read the National Labor Relations Board report on Joe Spezio?
So real quick, since we got my man on the line, let's welcome Frank Shaw to the show. Definitely a friend of the show. That was good though. Definitely a friend of the show. Definitely a friend. Say what's up, Frank. Say what's up, Frank.
How's everybody doing? All right. Frank Chop Francois. Damon, what's good, my dude?
Yo,
AJ, how you been?
Good.
How is the Black Westchester and People Before Politics family doing? I hope all is well.
We doing good. Thank you.
We got a new member since you've been around, Frank. His name is Bob Baskerville, Brooklyn Bob, Dr. Robert Baskerville, PhD or PhD. He likes to say.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he definitely an extra voice, and he brought it
Bob,
on.
how you doing?
Pleasure, my brother. Look forward to meeting you in person.
Right. I like to say this, that, I applaud what you're doing, what all of you are doing it at this time. It is very important, whether we agree or disagree,
That's right.
Absolutely.
that we keep this issue alive and do not let anyone get distracted. I don't know what's going to happen to Britney Spears next week, but I think she's going to make the news doing something,
Yeah.
her or Christina Aguilera.
To deflect from what's really going on. Right.
They're caught in the bathroom with a goat doing something. I don't know.
Yo, but that is
I'm
what
gonna
it
keep
be
it
like.
clean.
Yeah.
But we gotta understand the media blackout and the media mind control techniques of why they want certain messages to get out and why they do their best to oppress certain messages. They see that the people are waking up. They're seeing that mass media no longer has the same control that it does.
Right.
So to all the black law enforcement agencies, the media won't carry you. You can use your own YouTube or your own Facebook Live to speak out to these things and show the world that, yes, there are good cops. Now, I disagree.
Right.
There's not many. Damon, I count you as a good law enforcement officer. Your wife was a good person, and I know several myself. But we must admit, it's not a few bad apples.
Right.
It's the whole goddamn tree.
It's the system.
Right. But
It's
see,
the entire system. Yeah.
But
Root and branch, huh?
And you're right, brother. But what the community is missing is those good cops speaking up. You just can't be a good cop
Right.
when someone becomes a sniper and shoots you. You got to be a good cop
all around.
all the time.
Right.
You know?
All the time. That's
Yeah,
right.
all the
That's
time.
right.
Listen, man.
And we don't need no barbecues and no basketball games. And we don't need that. We don't need them to try to repair.
So I guess you ain't coming, Frank.
And then the next day they throwing my brother up against the wall, violating his rights.
Right.
You know,
That's right.
we
Yeah,
gotta-
look. We don't need them doing the running man neither, man. We don't need
Yeah,
that.
we don't need that. We don't
Not
need
going
that,
there.
man.
They-
We don't
David
need your
slipped-
photo ops. We don't need your photo ops when the next day you cursing me out in the middle of the street.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you forgot you just wanted to serve me a burger. I don't know what you put in that burger. I ain't eating it. I'll tell you that. I ain't eating it. You know, but like you said, Danny, we need the good cops to stand up all the time, not just in a crisis, all the time. And not only that, we need to protect them and follow them.
Absolutely. And stand with
That's
them.
right.
They're not being ostracized or penalized for upholding the law, whether it be on the streets
Right.
or in the precinct. Uphold the law.
That goes
We
for
need
the
laws that say,
politicians
guess
too.
what?
We need to
If you
stand
do
with them.
not do this,
Right.
and you're aware of this, then you will be charged with acting in concert or conspiracy.
Right.
It is
Absolutely.
your duty to report any wrongdoing, no matter about who it's done by.
Right.
It's your duty.
Yo, Frank, I just want to say something real quick too. Like,
Yes, sir.
everybody's talking about, he's talking about the media and everything and how they slant things. It was this
Yes, sir.
brother Frank who went down with his people down to Baltimore
Absolutely.
before when they had a peaceful, over 10,000 people peacefully protested, and only the media showed the 102 people that got arrested, and that acted up, and I think 50-something people got arrested or something. But if it wasn't for brothers like Frank, he won't just talk the talk. He went down to Baltimore in the heat of it. This is like 2-3 days before the CBS went up. And he was on stage and he sent me that picture that we posted, and we called out the media. And I don't even know if Frank know that. Yo, dude, that story went so viral that I think over 800,000 people read that story. They had the story on a board in John Hopkins School in an auditorium discussing the topic, and they were tweeting it to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, rappers was retweeting it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Entertain. I'm like, yo, it was
Wow.
crazy. I don't
Right.
know if 800,000 people have collectively read everything I wrote together. You know what I'm saying? That was like
Right.
but it was you going out there and
Right.
holding it down and sending me back the imagery. You know what I'm saying, of what happened,
What
and
was
then letting
really
me put the
going
words
on,
to
not-
it.
right.
And that's what it was like. Yo, finally some media that's not willing that's willing to tell the truth, because
Truth,
I called
right.
out all the other media outlets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this brother here, this brother goes everywhere. That's what I wanted to say, and I wanted to give you your
I'm glad
props.
I'm glad that we were both able to do our job. Let me give you a heads up. This week in Cleveland, from July 14th to Thursday, July 14th to Sunday, July 17th, we will be having a national convention for the oppressed. We have an all-star cast. It will be convened by Dr. Malik Zulu Shabazz. Lamont Hill will be there.
All right.
Dr. Royce Watkins will be there.
All right.
Dr. Cornell West will be there. I will be there. And I will be giving you a lot of footage and heads up on that, because there's going to be a lot of slander there,
Amazing.
too.
No doubt.
And
You know I got you.
I'm predicting at this time, because we're doing it right before the Republican National Convention, and after this week with these 5 cops getting killed and these brothers getting killed and brothers also being lynched around this country.
Right.
I'm
Nobody's
predicting-
talking about
Did you see
that in Atlanta.
The hanging?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
They're
crazy.
hanging, yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that.
I'm predicting this week in Cleveland, because I'm about to hit the ground there tomorrow promoting this. I'm predicting that this is going to be one of the biggest things of this summer.
That's
I
That's
will
gonna be
definitely
great.
give you a heads up.
yo, and
But I want to also say,
go ahead.
I want to say this real quick, right? Now, we have a strong message and demands. And what we're trying to do, as people want to call us warmongers, we're trying to prevent an all-out war, because I want my children to be able to go to the amusement parks and to continue to go to school. I don't want a civil war. But
Right.
I'm acting like the weatherman, just like Charles Barron likes to say, and don't blame me for predicting a hurricane that's impending.
Right.
If something is not done soon, this thing is going to spiral out of control. Let me just make a few points. Every time a police officer is killed, it makes law enforcement officers more antsy and more quick to pull the trigger.
Quick to pull the trigger. Right.
And every time a young black man or woman is killed,
It makes us more antsy.
fearful and more antsy. We don't want it to be that as soon as one see the other, they just go for their gun and don't wait to see what's going to happen.
Right.
And that very well may be what's coming down. So we have to get our law enforcement officials, we have to get our elected officials, our community activists to get on one page and pass strict laws that will ensure that nobody, nowhere, can think that they are above the law. And that everybody will be held accountable for their actions, especially those in a public office.
Can I ask a question? How do you
Yes, ma'am.
feel about certain people saying, I first of all don't think African American people can be racist because we don't have enough money and we don't have enough power, as we say, right? How
That's
do you
right, I
think?
agree with that.
What do you think about people saying we shouldn't segregate things? We shouldn't say we have black entertainment television or black this or black that.
Or Black Westchester.
Or Black Westchester.
You know how many
that
times people
is
say-
stressing the issue of segregation. How do you feel? How do you think that? Is it about making people comfortable with us having our own, or is it about saying to hell with how other people feel? This is what we need in order to build ourselves up economically and in every other way. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's a double-edged sword, and it applies 2 different ways. You know, one way it could be applied, it is applied to as homage to white people. When you say a black Jesus, well, many people that are Christians that say, well, Jesus is black anyway. Why would you say a black Jesus? Or you say, my name is Black Capone or Black Scarface or Black Moses. What you're doing in those incidences, you are basically subliminally saying that these people are white and you want to be like them. Now, as opposed for Black Westchester, which is something different, this is saying this is for primarily for blacks in Westchester. This is primarily for us because we don't have this that caters to us. So in one incident, it's like you're giving homage, and another incident is like you are preserving something to serve us that we are not being served in this field, and we wanted everyone to know it's a black thing, not that we're segregating it, but this is
Right.
about black people, by black people, for black people. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with that. We got to be honest. We got to be honest and realize this is not an integrated.
I mean, those conversations come up every day where, I'll have friends that'll say, why do you want black entertainment television?
No, but
we
get that all the time. Like, you're Black Westchester. You be upset if I make a white Westchester. I said, no, you already have it. It's called Westchester Magazine. Like, I'm just saying, yo.
That's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point. White people have these things already, but they don't put the white in front of it. They don't have to put the white in front of it.
So do you feel that is a part of the white privilege?
It is for them, about them, catered toward them, and they will include some feel-good stories about us sometimes, or some slanderous stories to put their agenda that we are just a step above the monkeys. So you're right. They have theirs already.
But you know what? They don't have a problem if you came out with the Latino Times. The Gay Esquire.
Why don't they get on? Do you ever notice that? Do you notice that?
All the women's magazines. Ain't nobody saying, why you need a women's magazine? Ain't nobody saying that.
Right.
Like any other group of people.
This has been an issue that's been...
That all of that is a part of the division, the divisive tactics, and the demonization of the black nation. Anything that they can stop, anything that we're doing that's positive, they want to stop. They want to slander it. They want to say, oh, you're being like this. Well, guess what? Listen to me, man. We don't need to listen to them or take their advice. We know what's right for us. We are grown adults. We don't need them to treat us like children and tell us what to do. Understand?
Right.
So we don't need to hear it. I tell white people straight up and down, straight up to their face, to deny racism and to deny oppression in itself is racist. To deny black people the right and ability to want to do for themselves in of itself is racist. To try to force us to integrate and accept your laws, your policies, your rules, your playing field in of itself is racist. We can have our own, they can have their own, and we can integrate, and those who want to integrate can integrate when they want. Why must they always dictate the terms?
Right.
That in of itself is racist.
I want to respond by saying, firstly, that we need to recognize that institutions that advocate on behalf of black people are simply a reflection of the empirical reality in which we live. We live in a segregated society, and therefore it should come as no surprise that since there is no universal institution that represents us all, we will either have to create our own institutions or face the risk of perishing, suffering immeasurably. Number two, this is a long debated question, and for me, the most instructive reflection on this issue is published by W.E.B. Du Bois, who we celebrate as one of the founding members of the NAACP, undoubtedly a champion for a kind of integrationism, who in 1934, I believe in his 1934 editorial in the Crisis magazine, Segregation, article entitled Segregation, encouraged African Americans to take advantage of the disadvantage. In other words, the segregated conditions under which we live. Moreover, listen, even thoughtful white people like Mary Ovington White, who was a white woman who was one of the founding members of the NAACP, came from a abolitionist family, recognized that there were limitations of a purely integrationist strategy, and in her private letters with other members of the board and with Du Bois himself also expressed concerns that African Americans would be disarming themselves of the collective power that we could exercise as a people if we insist on individualistic kind of segregation, integrationist programs. And there's a lot of African American intellectual leaders who also took this same position. Rayford Logan is one that comes to mind. It's something that I happen to have was writing about. So I've
you know what I say. Well, of course, the slave master and the house nigga don't want the field nigga to leave. And they're going to say whatever they have to tell you to say, well, stay here with us. We're going to make it better. But that's all pie in the sky. They eating today while they're promising us some better food tomorrow. We still starving. So don't listen to them. You know what I'm saying? You think this out for yourself.
I like that. You said they're eating today while promising us food tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's deep.
Exactly. You
No
know,
doubt.
this system, when we start to push the envelope, as we're pushing the envelope right now, and it's reaching a critical mass, they're going to use all forms of distraction, all forms of phony treaties and phony promises for us to pull the heat off. And at this time, we must not. We must press on with our demands with no compromise.
None.
No compromise. We ain't asking for all of America. We asking for you to stop killing us.
We're not
And give
asking
us
anymore,
proof.
though. We're not
Okay,
asking.
you know, we're demanding. We're demanding. And I gotta add this. I have to add this part, and it may come across as a dissenting, callous point. But if you're negotiating in a war, if there's a war, the only way you get both sides of these warring factions to come to the table and negotiate is because they're both taking losses. So unfortunately, it means that innocent people on both sides will be dying. It cannot just be innocent blacks dying. That's not going to force them to negotiate.
Right.
So what happened in Dallas can be used as a tactic to negotiate peace. Let's stop it. Let's don't continue it.
Right.
And that's just a fact of war.
I saw it was a older white lady. She was a professor, and she had a room full of Caucasian people, and she asked them, whomever would like to switch places with an African American person, raise your hand. Did anybody see that on Facebook?
Yeah, I saw it.
She asked again, and none of
She was
them
like,
raised
maybe you
their
didn't
hand.
understand my question.
She asked again, nobody raised their hand. And
Unless
she
it was like
said-
Michael Jordan or Kobe or somebody. They
yeah.
wasn't,
And she said,
But-
being that nobody raised their hand, what makes you think it is okay for you to sit back while you're seeing the treatment of African Americans and that it is wrong? How can you sit back and say nothing? Nobody in
Wow.
that room raised their hand that they wanted the life of an African
No,
American.
that was a good. That was definitely good. That was a good.
A very, very good question, and a very good thing to ask these racist white people. You know, as
I
they
think that
challenge
they're
us.
comfortable in the situations that they're in. And it would take them out of their comfort zone to say something or to speak up, because I say it all the time to my friends on Facebook. I have friends of all colors, races, nationalities. And I say to them all the time, if you say nothing, you're just as guilty.
That's right.
There's more outcry and outrage for Cecil the lion than there is for an African American male that gets murdered. Why is that? Does that not say something about the way society is set up right now?
Well, and it's funny because Brenda Crump had posted to sin by silence when they should protest makes cowards of men. Abraham Lincoln.
I mean,
That's right. Silence definitely is a form of consent. No doubt about it.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I want to add this, and I got to go, man. You guys are doing a great show, but I want to say this real quick, right? And Damon, you know where I'm getting at with this. The Democrats often blame the Republican Party. The Republicans often blame the Democrat Party. Hillary is blaming Trump. Trump is blaming Hillary. They're both blaming Obama. We have to realize the facts are that the issues and the problems that we're dealing with were here before Hillary, Clinton, Hillary, Trump, and Obama were in office. We have to realize for a fact that the Republicans and the Democrats are part of this two-party system serving the government, and they're both the problem. And most Americans are admitting that. They're just shifting the blame and not realizing that you're still pointing the finger at the same system. So we have to kill this two-party system that is controlled by the corporations and have other parties giving viable alternatives to other candidates. That's why I'm running for office under the Green Party ticket, to break the back of the Democrats and to break this control that the Republicans have over our government. And they're just serving as puppets to the corporations for the benefit of the corporations and at the detriment of the masses of the population.
Yo, Frank, before you go real quick, I just wanted to let you know we got a young lady who watches the show and listens to the show. Her name is Brenda Crump. If you mention anything, she will find it and post it in the thread that you just, and she just posted the National Convention of the Oppressed, Cleveland, Ohio, July 14th to the 17th, and it has all the speakers, including yourself, Malik Zulu Shabazz, and it's the whole thing. It's the flyer. She pulled it up as soon as you was talking. She holds us down like that. So the flyer's up.
We have about 4 flyers out now. We got more flyers, and I will report to you, AJ and Damon, and everybody else in Black Western people before politics.
Thank
live
you, my
and
brother.
direct from Cleveland. Y'all will get the all right.
And if you're there on a Sunday, feel free to call in live from Cleveland if you can.
All right, next Sunday I'll try to do that. All right,
no doubt.
Stay strong, man. Keep spreading awareness, man. Keep uplifting the people, man. Keep doing what y'all do. All right.
All right,
Love
peace,
and
my brother. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, that brother holds it down. Like I said, yo, he's everywhere. Like I met him the first time I met him. He knew Damon for years, but the first time I met him was when Damon went out of town and Cynthia had called me and was like, "Yo, let's go down. We going down to the Eric Garner funeral." And he was like, and I met him, and that's why I met Talon, and I met all of them, Sugar Ray. I met all of them for the first time that day, and then through various conversations and different projects and talking online, I've gotten to know all of them. But this brother is everywhere. He is shutting down a bridge. He is doing a die-in. He's with those people, the ones that were in the city. They're shutting everything down everywhere. This is him. He's one of those cats. He's in the middle of that all the time. And like I said, he was in Baltimore. He was in Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't just fight in his little corner. He go everywhere. So I just want to give him his props. We need more people like that. And the flyer's up. Thank you, Brenda, for posting it. If y'all in the Cleveland area, y'all need to check that out. They got some heavy speakers there, and I guess Black Westchester will be reporting some of that as we get the footage and the videos and the pictures and stuff.
AJ, I hope we can return to the question that or the issue that you raised earlier, and I'm not even sure that it should eclipse all the good work that people are actually doing on the ground to fight back against.
Okay. Yeah, I want you to.
But the hero thing, firstly, I have to say that a hero is someone who possesses qualities of courage that we strive to emulate. And heroism comes in, and courage comes in many different forms, including a kind of physical courage in which one is willing to put one's life on the line. Now, as someone who has lost 2 brothers, I can tell you that my brothers were revered and still are today for the immense. No, they were not. They were in the war.
In the war, okay.
In the war that we're all living through on the streets of Mount Vernon. And although they were greatly admired for their heroism, their physical courage, they are not with us here today. Now, for those who would maintain that, we need to emulate Brother
Frank
Mika.
Oh, who?
The brother in Dallas.
The
Mika. I do not know his name. I don't know his name or his last name.
Brenda, what's the guy's name? The shooter in Dallas. I'm sure.
Or the person who was the alleged
shooter.
The
alleged. Excuse me.
Right.
The
you gotta
alleged
be careful
because
I know someone is about to light me up on Facebook, Bobs. But for those of us who would hold him up as a hero, I am troubled for the following reasons. Number one, it is already difficult enough for people to actually try to emulate the heroes who want to live for the struggle by devoting themselves on a daily basis to try to carry out the need to organize our people. Even less people. No one wants to seem to give up their partying, the whatever the hell else that we are doing with all of our time. No one really wants to give up a little bit of that time, a small proportion of that time to really devote to the struggle. And so it falls disproportionately on the laps of those who hold up the struggle as an ideal that they ought to emulate. So I find it very unlikely that those who would profess that they find this brother to be a hero are going to go out and do the same damn thing that he did, which is to give up their lives. And so for me, there's an immense gap between the model of heroism that we're upholding and our ability to practically, emulate that person. I just don't know. Few people are really going to do it.
Can I say something? There is also within people who stand up and fight for the struggle. There's people who are more on the front line, more fight the power, in your face, always up there. But then there are some people who don't have all that much time to actually stand on the front lines all the time, but they do dedicate time. And then there's this kind of cliquish behavior amongst ourselves that, okay, well, she can't come in and speak to this issue because she doesn't speak about it all the time like I do. So within our own culture, we kind of ostracize the people who want to say something, make them feel bad for not saying something all the time, like some of the leaders do. And they kind of push them out and say, well, you shouldn't be a part of this struggle. You sit down over here because you may not speak as eloquently as Bob does, but but you shouldn't have so much to say. You should let this person speak and you should sit down. I've seen it. It's happened to me. So within our own culture, we still struggle with issues like that. And so then you have the people who are over here that are not as well spoken that may not want to say something because the people who are in the struggle make them feel bad for the little bit that they can do.
Listen, the people who are in the struggle, speaking and writing is just one form of the struggle.
Right.
It's also getting
a
out
place for
there and
everyone.
engaging in practical activity.
Absolutely.
And I have no doubt that while myself and Damon and AJ and several other, a group of people in Mount Vernon are trying to be engaged on a daily basis in the struggles in our community for justice, we will welcome everyone. We got a meeting at the city council on Wednesday.
Right.
All of y'all who are inclined to engage in heroic action, please come out to the city council
that's
meeting.
Us. That's us. That's not everyone.
Wait. Make sure you said the Mount Vernon City Council.
Mount Vernon
The
City
Mount-
Council.
This is not just a Mount Vernon show, so there's people in White Plains might think they
but
might go
it's-
to their city council looking for this.
You want me to tell
looking for you.
I just don't know, and I've been a long time activist. I don't know. That's not my experience of activism.
I've
You may not be particularly well suited for certain things. I don't know that. I don't know many activists who say that. I think a lot of thoughtful activists recognize that we need as much help as possible.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, as to where we may think that way, but everybody doesn't do that, and I've seen that behavior go on within. Like we have to learn to fight together and to unify. We can't make other people feel isolated because they don't do things the way we do things. You know what I mean? I've seen that kind of behavior to where it's like, okay, you don't fight the power the way I do, so you stay over here, and while we're over here doing this, instead of making everyone feel welcome. There's a shovel for everyone, but we just have to organize and unify as people. That unity comes from inside the house.
I think the biggest failure of organization today is simply most people don't want to actually do the work.
Yeah, no.
I think most people want to sit back and let a few people,
risk their lives.
Hold on a second. I just sat here and saw a comment, and I really hate when people say this shit. If we're going to stop the killing, we need to learn how to stop killing us and learn how to work things out. What the fuck does that have to do with cops shooting unarmed men?
Nothing.
What the fuck does that have to do with a cop shooting a 14-year-old boy with a
Tamir
toy
Rice.
gun?
Yeah.
What the fuck does that have to do
You're
with
right.
anything with
Right.
the issue of police criminality in the black neighborhood? Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Because if the black community was rosy and peach and very nice, we will still be getting killed.
We would.
Talk about the people in Black Wall Street. Talk about the people that lived in all these other communities that were very good, that they burnt down and they killed, and many of them were police officers.
Yeah.
So don't give me this crap
About
if
we
we
gotta stop
stop, if we
killing
gotta come
ourselves.
together and stop coming together. That has nothing to do with it. The system is built on the oppression of black people,
Right.
whether we love each other or not.
Right.
Whether we
Right.
love each other or not. Stop saying that. You just give it. You just
Giving them
giving
more
an
of a
excuse
reason.
to the oppressor
Right.
to kill black folks.
Right.
Until it happens to your nappy ass head, because they not because
can't
because
say
they're
that
not
even
killing
started. Oh,
they're
no.
not killing people because they're Christian. They're not killing people because they're Muslim.
Right.
They're not killing people because they're Buddhist. They're killing them because they're black.
Right. Right.
So let's wake up. I just had to say that because I hate when people say this nonsense.
And before the answer to your question, Brenda L. Crump, she got on me because I didn't say her L last time. Brenda L. Crump said the name of the alleged Dallas, Texas shooter is Micah Xavier Johnson.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda. Well, I mean, as we reflect on this issue, that's one problem that I have with holding up Brother Johnson as a hero, because I don't think many of us are going to actually go out and emulate him. So it's an unattainable
The
heroism.
sad thing is there's some out there that might.
No,
Well,
there will
did you-
be.
Right.
But there will be,
that's
but
what I'm saying. It's-
we will not get a critical mass of people. I'm
That's
not
gonna do
convinced that anyone is going to we're not going to get a critical mass of people who will go out there and engage in armed violence such that we would even have a chance to
Absolutely not. Yeah, there's
prosecute
not a
a
win that you can win.
revolutionary kind of
No.
struggle. That's number one. Number two, what invariably happens, and if you take seriously the idea that one of the real deficits in the black community is a lack of organization, this lack of organization will become particularly apparent should one undertake an armed revolutionary struggle at a moment where in our history, national history, I say it's just not possible. But because given the overwhelming power of the police state here in the United States, vis-a-vis black people, who constitute 13% of the population, all we can do is commit these kind of lone wolf acts of violence. Try to organize
Yeah.
a revolutionary cell, and you will quickly be quashed. And the dominant philosophy today amongst those across races and ethnicities, with respect to the best way to wage an armed revolution, is to do it on a lone wolf basis, whether it's lone wolf terrorism or any other kind of armed act. It's always by oneself. And indeed, immediately upon killing this cat, the first thing the police started doing was to try to dig into his
Did you
social
see that
networks.
He's a thug and all that story with the They said he was arrested. No, that was
That was
Philandro Castile. They said he had 63 driving infractions, and he was pulled over several times. Immediately they go to dig in their social media in their past. I hate that.
right. I mean,
hate that.
if anything, I thought that sort of highlighted the extent to which the law enforcement continues to harass people on almost unceasingly on a daily basis. For a person to be pulled over that many damn times.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Why does he still have a gun?
yes, that's what
I'm-
I was
I'm-
wondering.
I'm confused. You know, I mean,
Right.
if you got pulled over, like, how does somebody? I mean, isn't it? You know, like, damn, you could carry a gun and be pulled over 90 times.
Yes.
You know, I mean, but we got to understand. We the modus operandi of is always to kill the credibility of the victim,
Absolutely.
and
Or the
and-
messenger.
So sad. That's like the.
and they do it to even black cops when black cops are shot. The first thing they do is kill the credibility of they kill the credibility of their own.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? They did it to Christopher Ridley. They did it to all. They just, and these are you know, unions. You know, that this cop would pay union dues, and then he's shot, you know, by his white counterpart, and he's at fault. You know, so let's not be surprised when they do it to a regular Joe Blow. Hell, they do it to black cops they shoot accidentally. Right. They make it it's his fault.
Right.
How the hell it's his fault? But that's what they do. So let's not be surprised. They always kill the men. And you know, and look the picture that News 12 put up of Christopher Ridley. They had him with the hat turned to the side and all this. Are you crazy now? Now you're putting the subliminal message that he's a gangbanger or a street kid.
Right.
You know,
That's
and
so
he's
wrong.
a cop just trying to do his job.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's upset. You know, I mean, let's not. The tricks of these devils is amazing, man.
And to me, that only underscores the need for institutions like Black Westchester, because ultimately what happened is that our struggle is not only a political struggle, as the great Harold Cruz, author of The Crisis of the Negro Intellectual, written during the late 1960s, said, we have a struggle that is both political, economic, and cultural.
Absolutely.
And part of the struggle is to be able to define reality for ourselves in a way that is reflective of our experiences and our needs.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be no one better able to define the actual reality under which we live than institutions that remain true to a black experience that is very diverse, and not only the experience of black elites, but those of us who find ourselves from harder hit sectors of the black community.
Communities, right.
You know, the hood.
The hood, right.
You know, in some respects. Or you know, those of us
My
who
block.
those of us who might find ourselves, you know, just one paycheck from poverty. You know what I mean?
That's many people.
That's
many people.
Yeah.
Many
people that
people
think that they're good right now, that they think they're good,
or not.
I have no illusions.
Right.
Something happened to your job and you miss a paycheck or two. Yo, dude, like,
I think I could ride for about 4 months.
You
Yo, D.
But then I can't do my.
Yo, I'm gonna be at your door. You better watch out.
I think I can ride 4 months, but everything getting cut off. Everything getting cut off. But I could ride out for 4 months, man. You know, you're supposed to have at least.
Well, see, that's what when we used to run back in the days when you used to come with me in the hip hop. I had a 90 because I was a freelance writer, and the money comes as feast or famine, and I always tried to keep a 90-day plan. That means whatever my monthly bills was, I had 3 months worth of that. So if something happened, I had 3 months to figure it out. Usually, you know what I'm saying? And you know, because I was eating pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So when you tried to do that, sometimes you then spend some money you don't need to spend.
I mean, you want me to tell what?
You get in a little trouble, but you know.
I've really scaled back my expectations.
You hang out with ballers like Damon, and you know you at the bar, and all of a sudden you're spending some money you shouldn't spend. You know, trying to keep up.
Ain't nobody tell you to do no shit like that.
Nah, I'm just playing.
I mean, I've scaled back my expectation these days. I'm on the 90-minute plan. You know,
the 90-minute plan.
If I could just not go too long without a sip of water, I'm good.
Caller, you are on the People Before Politics radio show. Please state your name and your purpose for calling.
Peace, brothers. This is Brother Jeff.
Brother Jeff,
brother,
what's
Hey,
up?
Brother Jeff.
How you doing, brother? Have you
Peace,
been checking
everybody.
out the show, checking out the topic?
I'm sorry?
I said, were you checking out the show? I mean, were you listen? You know the topic? Were you?
Yeah. I'm listening along, and I don't want to be remiss to miss the sister, which I just didn't get her name. But,
Priscilla, yes.
Priscilla.
The point, Priscilla, peace, sister. I wanted to be sure I kind of affirm what Rob was saying, because I hear the focus on trying to be organizationally responsive, and that's such an important piece right now, because I don't see a real dialogue, and you won't see in the corporate media a really a balanced view of any kind of analysis, and it's important too that we don't mimic too many of the types of strategies they use, especially in the way of perception management. You know, we don't even know right now, this brother by the name of supposedly Michael X. Johnson, we don't know for a fact that he was any kind of an assailant in this evolution that went down Wednesday. You know, we haven't seen closed circuit TV footage of him. We haven't seen any kind of video footage that included him as an assailant behind a gun. The ordnance disposal unit that they say went in discharge a detonation next to him has a camera on it. We don't see footage of that. So we haven't even heard from his mother, who he supposedly lives with. So we don't know too much about the facts other than what they're telling us. So we should probably not mimic too much of what they're talking about in terms of what framing they put him in. And we should move forward in terms of really understanding what Rob is saying in terms of organizational response. We really do need to organize, because they organize all the time around this stuff. 5 dead cops is what they call justifiable loss in combat terms. They don't really worry too much about how many people they're going to lose when they're going down with a combat operation, because they're more worried about the assets that they're either going in for, or whatever actual controls they're going to use to maintain the control once they get in. And in this case, they're talking about propaganda. They're not really talking about saving black lives or protecting anybody in the street. So I'd like to see a little more analysis on our part when it comes to talking about this organized response. An organized response can well be revolutionary without bullets, okay? And I'm not going to downplay the reality of bullets, because we live in a society that's based on the military structure, right down to corporate hierarchy. And, that's just where we are. So at some point, it may be necessary, but in this particular instance, we're not ready at all. I wouldn't put a gun in half of the people's hands in this country that claim they're ready for war. Most of our people aren't even disciplined enough to go to a couple meetings on time. So, there's a whole problem. Yeah. And, brothers like Damon, those of us who've been in the military understand that at least at the military level, and probably more recently, they've probably done this, I don't know for a fact, but I know this has been the case in law enforcement and civilian operations. But I know at the military level, they train all the time for human contingencies. They do these drills all the time now with local enforcement agencies, and they're so prepared that they have prosthetics. They have actors putting on they have these prosthetics that mimic like a flesh wound in the gut, where your guts are hanging out, so that the EMTs won't get freaked out if they see that in real life. So there's a whole issue behind how ready we are and how ready we think they are. And I guarantee you, they're ready at all times to take some losses on huge scales. So they're going to make martyrs out of whoever they feel need to be a martyr, and they're not worried about the cost as long as they can actually get the dividends. So it's important that we not make too many heroes out of people. Heroism, I agree with Rob, is something that comes too easily in this culture anyway. You're a hero just because you save a dog from getting hit by a car or something. But, you shouldn't have to be a hero to do the right thing. Doing the right thing, in our case, as African people, should be at least going to PTA meetings, at least require of the system what it should be doing for you on a regular basis, what it should be doing for your children. We don't even have that kind of discipline or heroism yet, but we want to make revolutionaries out of a brother with a Facebook page. So, we need I would like to see more basic understanding of that stuff, and I just want to kind of back up on that.
No doubt. And while you're saying that, and for other people that are watching the video, we just had some people come in, and we're playing musical chairs right now. So you know what I'm saying? This is live radio. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on. Brother Jeff, as always, is a pleasure. We appreciate,
thank you, Brother Jeff, for
what you
calling
do
in, man.
and for supporting us, because you hold us down.
It was probably Brother Jeff who I had in mind when I very cautioned against, I use the word alleged, because Jeff has always reminded me of the importance of being a critical consumer of media. Moreover, I know Brother Jeff is well aware of the diabolical ends to which the security establishment here in the United States will go in its efforts to suppress and otherwise scatter our limited forces. We only need, remember the word COINTELPRO. and the infiltration. I mean, quite honestly, there was a part of me that wondered, yo, is this an agent provocateur
Right.
in our midst who
Right.
has undertaken an action deliberately designed to weaken an insurgent movement just at a moment when it is actually starting to break through
Right.
the
Right.
consensus view that, you know what, we need to have this kind of heavy-handed policing.
Right.
Right.
You know, and one of the things that scholars say is very important in the generation of social movements is a breakdown in elite consensus about an important issue, and this has been especially true in the case of African Americans. And although we might be cautious when we hear expressions of commiseration, regret on the part of national leaders, you know, there has been admission on the part of Republicans who are otherwise staunch, stalwart advocates of white supremacy to, you know, to at least acknowledge the source of our pain in the face of video that makes it patently clear that something ain't right with the way that policing is going on. So there's a lot for us to take into consideration when we're thinking about where we should go and how we should proceed. But the real message we need to take is that the brothers and sisters who are out there on the lines by engaging in direct action tactics at least have tentatively advanced the struggle, because now we're talking about something that our national leaders for so long have chosen to ignore.
Right. Can I ask a quick question?
In the microphone. In the microphone.
Testing.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
How do you guys feel about Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again"?
I'm not.
Yeah, man. Why would you even ask?
You know what? You know what?
As
No,
black
no,
people,
no.
we already
No,
know
wait.
that's put niggas back in shackles. That's what put niggas back in shackles. Yeah, make America great again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's put Negroes back in shackles,
That's
man.
what-
My aunt, who AJ said, you know, rightly said was, you know, extreme wise, reminded me when we were having a conversation that that's the same slogan. That's a resuscitation of the slogan that was used by Charles Lindbergh during the 1930s
Yo,
for
Damon,
advocating white fascism
Wait,
here in the
Damon.
United States. So
Yo,
we better
Damon.
be careful about wishing that America was great again or that Mount Vernon is great again.
Wait, but Damon, yo, Damon. She went as far as she said nobody had ever researched Trump's lineage, and she traces him back to Germany. When we talk about Hitler, she traces him back.
Yes.
She broke down what his family was involved in and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, I wish I could only just remember half of it. But I mean, like, yo, she broke it down
This
though.
is your aunt.
Yeah.
this is my aunt.
But I want to take this moment. We have two
We got two
gentlemen in the house, and I'd like Priscilla to introduce. Let who you bringing today?
Absolutely. This is the amazing Sean Cross from the Rough Rider family, and this is family right here. You introduce yourself.
Dewan Brown
Dewan Brown
from North.
and Sean speaks a lot to the issues. He's a very conscious rapper. He
I
speaks
seen
to the
you
issues
brothers
of the
before.
community.
I don't know around the campus. I just seen you look real familiar though.
Yeah, I'll be able.
And I've been hearing noise about you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
name has been bubbling. Your name is
Like,
bubbling.
yeah, I get that. I'm not surprised.
Your name is bubbling a little bit. You know what I
As it
mean?
should. That's what we want. We want it to bubble up, baby.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know, I do want you to speak about what you do and everything, but here we deal with a lot of issues and stuff, and I know
I'm here for the issue.
Yeah, I want you to speak.
I'm here for the
I
issue
want you to speak
first.
on all the stuff that's going on right now, and for, you know,
Well, I mean, listen.
and just pull the mic a little closer. I want everybody to make sure they hear you.
You know,
It moves. Just pull it.
Yeah,
Pull it. Yeah.
I'm a student of knowledge. You know, I've read plenty books. Behold of a Pale Horse by William H. Cooper. Miseducation of the Negro. Destruction of the Black Civilization. Just a whole list of books that I've read and came across. In my personal experience, I myself was faced with racism at a young age. I was called nigger twice. So I understand first and foremost what we're going through as a people. Now, you know, the sister came. She wanted to reiterate about what happened. The 5 officers who was murdered the two brothers who was murdered. You know, my thing is this. I'm going to keep it tall. We got to separate ourselves.
Oh, we was just speaking about that.
You know, and I'm a Muslim, and Ramadan is just finished.
Right, yes.
Alhamdulillah. And in Islam, the Creator says, I will not change the condition of a people unless they change the condition of themselves.
Come on, you better
So now we as black people, we want change. When I was young, growing up on 116th Street,
116th for what?
and from Morningside to Lenox Avenue.
Okay, I stayed on 116th, 115th in Lenox, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm from right. My grandmother lived on 15th and Lenox.
Okay.
So as a child, I would say to my father, I say, "Yo, Daddy, man, why we gotta live here?" Because it was an era of heroin addicts, and their arms was bigger than our bodies, so they appeared to me as monsters.
Right.
So what my father said to me was, "Son, ghetto is just a name, just like residential area. It's what you make it.
Yes.
You want to piss in the elevator? You want to write graffiti on the wall? You want to sell narcotics? That's what it's going to be." You know, we've been doing marching for 70 years, 100 years now. And there's no it's like the definition of insanity is doing the same old thing, expecting different results. And I'm going to keep it tall with my people. Marching and voting is not it. That's not going to get us nowhere. Every time you coming up with picket signs, you got to hit them where it hurts. Where economically is where it hurts.
Come on, talk about it.
Every piece of fabric that we have on is not black owned. From this garment, my sneakers, my underwear, whatever we wear, it's not black owned. But now, like Dr. Umar Johnson said in Hidden Colors, racism is hidden now. Racism is not about black and white, brothers. It's about, if I'm in power, you got house niggas, you got it, like the brother said, it's 1,000 black millionaires in America right now. There's no community outreach programs in the ghettos of America to teach the economic growth of our people.
Yeah.
See, I'm in the ghetto every day. I'm in the hood. I'm not one of them artists. I'm in the trenches. I'm still in the trench. I'm not going nowhere. This is where I'm from. Money can't take me from my people. Fame can't take me from my people. I see my people's cry. It's like this. You have to show them from youth the economic solution. Oprah, Michael Jordan. It's not about giving. It's about giving the rod to go and fish yourself.
Come on.
Let's let's build economic institutions that can teach our people how to economically grow and get a piece of the so-called American dream.
But how do we do that when we won't even reinvest into our own banks?
See, and that's and that's our own people. You know, the Oprah Winfrey's, the Bob Johnsons. These people got billions of dollars. They have to put that money back into the community. And like one person said, you got to hire officers that's from this community.
That's right.
You hiring a bunch of white officers that's not from this First of all, what we got to understand, Dred Scott. People versus Dred Scott, the slave who fought for his freedom. The tailors of the Constitution wrote that a black man had no right in which the white man should recognize. Because he's 3/4 of a man. We're descendants of kings and queens and geniuses.
That's right.
Forth and forth. So slavery is just a small part of our history.
But that's all the movies are about now.
That's because Hollywood is not. And then when they do, they got white characters portraying the people. You got a white man portraying Noah. Noah built that ark on the desert of Iraq. Okay?
That's right.
So you
Okay,
already know.
you got a white man portraying the character of Musa, Moses, who was born in Egypt, which is Africa, and it's nothing but black people come out of these countries, out of this country. So even Cleopatra. So it's
They don't just do it to black people. They had the white man play kung fu, which was Bruce Lee's movie. Bruce Lee created the thing, and they had David Carradine play Bruce Lee. Like, yo, dude.
Look at the brother just said. The brother just said we're slaves in our own environment.
That's right.
Yes.
Listen, when I was a kid, right?
They said we gonna
Pull the mic up. Pull up.
Put the mic up, Shay.
When they let us go 500 years ago, they said we gonna let them go, but we gonna still own them.
Come on.
So
It's a
everywhere,
mental thing.
yeah, everywhere we go,
Psychological.
we gotta deal with them. There's really no black people in charge
At all.
at all.
And
No.
when I was a kid, not to cut your wisdom, King,
No.
but when I was a
You
kid,
good.
I was every store that I went to, I went in with a note and it was black owned. In my hood right now, every grocery store is owned by Arab.
Yeah.
First of all,
That's true.
the African and the Arab don't mess with the descendant of the slave. They're in no type of business, no type of commerce divide. They're in no type of business with us. We're basically alone. And we never in bondage, people. We never raped and we never plummeted. Okay, we have problems. They say, well, black people kill black people. Lions kill
We
lions.
just talked about that.
Hyenas kill hyenas.
Yeah.
So if you telling me if I took 20 hungry lions and I let them go up the main street in Yonkers, you think they just gonna walk?
They're gonna kill everything.
They're gonna kill everything moving because they hungry. So imagine what a human would do who's at the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
If he's hungry, and poverty creates this hunger. See, we asking about a solution. The solution is poverty. You got to end poverty. If you're not
Poverty.
We need to give
systematic
a
poverty,
big
if
clap
you're
for
not
that
ending
shit
it,
right there.
That's right.
Systematic poverty.
if you're not gonna end poverty, you're gonna have these conversations. Look at the Jews in Brooklyn. They got their own ambulance, they own law enforcement, they own community. We don't have that because you're not letting us get this. This is a small story. I don't wanna, take up the time, but brothers is saying, yo, y'all can get y'all business and y'all can do this. Now, I just went into a business deal with one of my Muslim brothers over there. He's from Kenya. And to comprise the business plan, we needed a loan to get the business. In order for the bank to give you the money, you have to have the business plan. And the type of business that we wanted, renderings, architects, product lists, all these people had to be compensated. It wasn't a favor thing. So the brother came and gave us the money to comprise the business plan. A bank would have never given us this loan to comprise this business plan. He would have said, like Dr. Umar said, racism now is in a place where it says you're either overqualified or you're underqualified. So you can't sit and say the bank manager is racist. Oh, he didn't give me the loan because I'm black.
Right.
You're either they got it now to where you're over or you're under. Because to comprise the business plan to get the loan, we had to have funds to do that. So we talking about black enterprise. At a time when this has existed, like the Black Wall Street, the first airstrike, it was destroyed. The first airstrike on American soil. You say this is the worst attack in American history.
Oh, the other one, but they
The
somehow
50
sweep
people
the other
killed in
under
the HUD, but you didn't. The Tulsa, Oklahoma, you didn't bring that up when black people were thriving in business. This is what we known to do. The Moors bought clothing to Italy. There's no gators in Italy. How did y'all get gators? How did y'all get leather? The Moors bought this there. We civilized this society. So we got to get back to loving each other before we can talk about, the white man this and the white man that. We have to get back to unifying ourselves. Now, the brother just came from Newark, not to put the streets into this, but it's a problem right now in Newark with the Bloods and the Crips.
Yeah.
And the 6 people has just been murdered.
My God.
And that's not going to get any news coverage.
Today? Was that today? That's today? Yes, the one was
That was within a couple days from Friday to now. 6
Really?
people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get no news coverage on that. So
They don't
now
care
my thing with
about
the
that.
gangs, is brothers. Y'all got the y'all strong. Y'all very strong. You have to unify,
And
man.
organize that, right?
And organize and shut them down economically. Don't buy from their stores. Don't buy from none of them. The Arab, they to me, you know, and I love it. You know, I'm a Muslim, and we believe that you know, if you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, you bore witness. That's what you are. But your actions don't speak of that from which I read. As an Arab to your people. There's no black people working in an Arab store nowhere in no 5 boroughs.
But do you know that Arabs also has slaves?
Yeah, they started slavery. If you want to be technical,
Absolutely.
the white man did not start it.
Don't know that.
Listen, Bilal, who is the muezzin, the person who calls the prayer, he was a slave, an African slave by Arab, and the Prophet Muhammad freed him. His man Abu Bakr paid for his freedom.
Come on.
Before 500 years of slavery. So this been going on.
Yeah.
That we're looked at as because we civilized the world, it's like an upset to them. Like this, and like and you watch Hidden Colors, how they got us because we're not naturally animalistic people.
No.
We're naturally passive people with love. So
That
we
work hard.
we of course we built the world. Now we embrace these people, the Europeans, the Spaniards, and it was 3 levels of how they got us. First they came in like, oh, you know, whoopty woo, whoopty woo. Then they brought their religion in, and then they came in with the slaughter,
Yeah, that's how it
which
works.
was the gun. Once the gun was invented,
That's it.
that fear came into us. Now you duped us by fear and taking our kindness for weakness. So now we at this point 1,000 years later where we still marching. We're still voting. We still singing kumbaya. We still in the same situation we was. You murdered Dr. My father said when they killed King, they went crazy in Harlem.
I know.
He said when they got to 110th Street, the National Guard was there and said, "You niggas not coming down." Excuse my French, but he's, you know,
We say it
in
all,
their
but-
mind they said, "You Negroes not coming down here with that. Y'all can tear that down." But when they say our community again, at that time blacks owned businesses, but now blacks don't own no business in my community.
Anything.
Not a grocery store. Now I'm looking some, you know, a couple lounges in Harlem now that black people own.
But Harlem,
You know?
Harlem don't even look the same anymore. They didn't ran out.
It's gentrified.
I used to have a spot up in the Mart.
gentrification.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So they
Yeah.
done closed us down at the Mart. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah.
it's
How they closed the mart down? You
Yeah.
closed the mart down for what?
For what?
and it still just looked like
and
it's
it's-
nothing,
you did nothing with it.
right,
And these were black businesses that had booths in the mart.
right.
You
We
know
had
what
we
I
had a
mean?
booth in the front.
But
yeah.
now there's nothing
I
black
guarantee
owned
they're
on
gonna do something with
125th
it,
Street.
They're
Right.
gonna do something with
It's
it.
Then they
nothing-
tried to throw everybody in the outdoor one on 116th, between 115th and 16th.
Yeah,
for
and we had to buy that because of that.
yeah.
The mosque bought that.
Yeah, I know.
And then that's nothing but the African brothers, and we're not taking nothing from our African and our Arab brothers, but y'all are not in business with us. You don't do business with us. I can't go in no Arab corner store
And
and
get
get
a
a
job.
job. And I'm not talking about making sandwiches. Put me on the cash register. I know
Yeah,
how to
they ain't
count
doing that.
and read. You not put me on the cash register.
Well, you won't see that in an Asian store either.
And yeah, but it's
You would never see
yeah,
that.
it's a Chinese restaurant in every ghetto in America.
Everyone.
But it's not a soul food restaurant in
Anywhere.
Chinatown.
No, no, you
We
won't
only
find
get
it.
one chance.
Yo, but the Chinese, but the Chinese, what they sell in those Chinese food ain't what they eat or sell in Chinatown.
But they
No,
come in
that's
your
not what they
Chinese
sell.
store.
That is not what they
Yo,
sell.
you go to a real Chinese food place.
I do.
You
I
can't
go to
get
dim
none of
sum.
the stuff that you get in the hood.
I
And when
actually-
you look at that, you be like, yo, wait.
Listen, I asked him for bok choy. Bok choy is Chinese broccoli.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I said, I go in the Chinese joint on the block. Yeah, let me get an order of bok choy. No, we don't tell the I bok
They
choy.
selling us wings and
You selling us wings and fake broccoli
Yeah.
and nasty rice. I did a. You know, I wrote this song for Alicia Keys called "The Gospel," and she did a small film to it in Brooklyn. So she like coming back to her roots.
Yeah.
And in the set, she was in a Chinese restaurant. Not to get off the subject, but in the set, she's in a Chinese restaurant. And behind the scenes, she was like, "Damn, B, She looking at the chicken wings and shrimp fried rice. She like, yo, I ain't eat this shit in years. I said, sis, you far removed. I just had this the other day. You far removed, sis. She laughing just like that. But, you know, you put that in the hood, which is not good for us. But when you go to dim sum, which is like their lunch down in Chinatown, they serving everything out the ground, organic. It tastes beautiful. Is served like you was in China. Yes. Woo. But that's not in our community.
Right.
So my thing.
There's nothing healthy in our community.
Nothing.
And if it is, it costs too much.
Because you know why? This it's called psychological warfare, germ warfare. It's all type of warfare on the beginnings of civilization. But what they don't know is if you wipe the black man out, there's nothing else for you to have.
Right.
You're not gonna have nothing. You wipe us out, and we the ones that the world fears, the descendant of the slave. They scared to put us in position. You put them niggas in position,
it's over.
It's over. And we need the Arab and we need the African to unite with us, man.
Yes, we do. Yes,
we need y'all to unite with us, man. We didn't do nothing to y'all but get enslaved for 500 years. It's not our fault. Yes. Our actions were taught to us. We are not animals. We are not savages. We are intelligent people. Yes. We just want what's right for our people and our community. And because if you, this scripture y'all reading, it says all man is equal. Jesus brought the gospel. He said all man is equal in the gospel. The Quran says all man is equal. The Torah says all man is equal. If this country is saying it is built on God's principles, everybody is equal, man. Nobody is different.
I'm gonna cut you real quick because we're coming to the end of the show, and you definitely sound like somebody we need to have back though. But I don't want the moment to pass. Y'all got a concert coming up, the Rough Rider thing.
Yes.
D wasn't able to call in. He called into the earlier show. Yes. At least I want y'all to have a chance to plug that and talk about
July 16th is going down at the Westchester County Center. Yes, DMX, The Locks, Swiss Beats, Dragon, and myself, Sean Showtime Cross. Yes. Come through.
Sound like you got knock
Come through.
Yo, in this corner.
Come through and support and support hip hop.
Right.
Support music. Support what our ancestors and the Creator gave us, man. And this is why, this is Westchester.
Yes.
And DMX has never done a show up here.
Ever.
He's never, the Locks has never done a show up here in that particular setting in the arena.
And D said on the earlier show, they got the whole county center. They got
we got the whole. It's 4,500 people.
Yeah, there's the whole county center.
We got the whole county center.
Yeah.
Because we got to flood that joint out. So we need y'all to go out to Ticketmaster.
That's right.
And go out to the Westchester County Center. Purchase your tickets now. They're not expensive. We know it's a hard time for you, but come out and support the movement. You know, it's going for a greater cause, and we will be sending some of the proceeds to the families who's just been lost.
Absolutely.
Alton, the brother Alton Sterling,
right.
And the brother Phil. They call Philandro, but they call him Phil. You know what I'm saying? Those two brothers. We donating proceeds, which might not be much, but it's the thought that counts.
That's right.
No doubt. No.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, real quick. Ain't got a lot of time. You're an artist. You got something coming out. You've been bubbling for a minute, but a lot of people don't know who you are. So talk about you a little bit. Your music.
Listen,
you do.
I got my hands in the air. Officer, don't shoot. Told him I couldn't breathe. Then he gave me the boot. Cause they be giving the time but never gave me the loot. They got my back to the wall, so what a brother gonna do? I took a couple of L's. They say a tries to fail. It's either put on the mask or throw the work on the scale. Times done changed, but I can't even tell. It's only two ways to go. It's gonna be freedom or jail. They gave the brother a case and he couldn't even bail. Judge gave him an option, go to trial or tell. Now he's sitting in prison while the governor fishing. We gotta draw up the plan, then accomplish the mission. You put a cat in the corner, he gonna be scratching and hissing. We gonna survive in the ghetto, cause the people ain't living. So how a leader gonna lead if he ain't got the vision? I had a dream in my head. I gotta break out of prison. Oh Lord.
Yes, come on.
Yeah. Man.
There you go. The God dealing in the high science.
Come through,
you know what I mean?
And I got the mixtape, the Pumper's Manual.
Okay. Social media.
Social media, Sean _ Cross 1128. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Sean _ Cross 1128. Twitter, Instagram. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Come and support your brother, man. I'm conscious, man.
That's right.
I'm not selling all that death, man.
That's right. You selling.
I'm not just selling the death. I'm selling the positive,
Realness.
the realness. Come and support this, man.
And just so y'all know, because, you know, you got to spell things out for people. Sean is...
SEAN
There you go. So you gotta,
_CROSS
like, I can't find them, you know.
Yeah. Now I spell my you know my stage name is SEAN
Right.
_Cross. You know, but some people SHA, SHUAN.
Yeah.
You know, mine's is SEAN.
Right.
Sean _ Cross 1128. That's
So music project release coming soon.
well,
What?
we got the Pumpers Manual.
Right.
We got the I'm gonna drop 3 singles. They Losing Their Hope, America, and Fiend.
Okay.
I got film. I do film as well. We working on the Richard Pryor film right now.
Okay.
With Lee Daniels.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
And we also doing short films. I'm about to do a joint on Newark called Tapped. That's coming as well. Like, you know, internet short film series. You know what I mean? So we got film, we got music. I got Alicia Keys and Swiss Beats executive producing the album. You know what I mean? I got beats from Mark Batson, well-renowned Mark Batson, Harold Lilly, Dame Grease, you know, and a list the luminaries, the individuals. Shout out to Avery, shout out to Swiss Beats, shout out to Alicia, shout out to luminaries, Mark Batson, shout out to my brother Dewan, my Newark people, shout out to the whole Harlem, shout out to YO. You know, the Locks, LOX, they gave me my shot when it came to rocking that stage, so I owe a lot to them. You know what I mean? And just look out for the Sean Cross, man. I'm coming.
No doubt.
I'm coming full force.
No doubt. Coming to the end of the show. Priscilla, any last words? Microphone, please.
Absolutely. I just want to encourage all of us to organize as a people and start to reinvest back into our own communities and to teach our families from young. That's all I have to say. From young kids, we need to start teaching our children how to save, how to reinvest, how to just look out for one another, your brother and your sister. And if something happens to them, it happens to you. So we got to organize and come together.
No doubt. Brooklyn Bob, Dr. Ambassador.
You know, I'm a very big proponent of what the philosopher Karl Marx would call praxis, thought, action plus thought. And I'd like to invite all my brothers and sisters to go out and read some of the key texts that have been written by our foremost intellectuals, Richard Wright, author of Native Son, who wrote How Bigger Thomas Was Born, Chester Himes, Plan B, who reflects on what will happen if we desperately resort to violence without some sort of larger overarching plan. There's a lot that we need to think about because we're at a crossroads. The world is in crisis. Absolutely. And if we do not have a plan for how to resolve the crisis, then someone who has planned will solve it for us in a way that will hurt us even more.
Absolutely.
So let's think about it, y'all. And that's my word for the day.
Absolutely.
Damon K. Jones.
I think one thing we need to, future protesters need to be very careful on how they set up these protests because they could always use for a cover for someone else for their ill intentions. Just like the case in Dallas. And do not let. I mean, listen. People going to mourn deaths. We mourn the deaths, but we cannot let these deaths stop the movement. You know. And next Sunday, I'm really going to put a foot in the Black Lives Matter people's asses because they got that 1.5 from Jay-Z and they got all that money and you ain't heard nothing from them after that. Right. So we need to talk about their responsibility. Right. You know, and where have they been? Right. You know, because once they got all that money, they got quiet. Basically. So we need to talk about that next Sunday, and ask what is going on with the actual leadership. Not the Black Lives Matter. Yes, it's taking on a whole new life. But there were people that started that, and what happened to it once they got that money, and we need to discuss that. Right. All right. So it's Miller time.
Right. No doubt. Any last words, my brother?
I just want to say to everybody to stay positive. If you're doing negative, just try to turn to positive.
That's right.
Stay prayed up.
That's right.
Yo, and I am AJ Woodson, and we would like to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody who called in. Of course, Brenda L. Crump, who y'all don't know, this sister, everything y'all talk about, she posted on it. You talk about hitting colors, she posted it. Yo, she was like, yo, oh my man.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a non-profit organization, Left Hook Boxing Club in North.
Okay.
Getting kids off the street.
Okay.
I'm
gonna give you my card and
I might have to join, man.
Yeah.
I think
and that's and he's and just so y'all don't know, that's our resident arm wrestling champion.
Brother strong. Brother strong.
No doubt. But we got to build on that because that's the kind of things I know you're familiar with Black West. So we try to build those things. I mean, we're gonna call out those ain't doing right, but we try to the people that's actually doing don't get that love and major press don't holler at them. You know what I'm saying? We try to.
I just want to big brother Sean up because he just dropped a couple of bars on us, and already he's demonstrated that he is in that tradition of conscious rappers who's trying to get us to focus on the shit that we need to really be focused on. So I'm looking forward to that for real.
No doubt.
That's a fact. We have to listen. We got a generation of people that's listening and following us, man. And I grew up amongst Curtis Mayfield, Gil Scott Heron, Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye, Sam Cooke. These are the type of people that played in my crib. So, although we speak about what we see in the community, but we got to give a positive take on that and lessen the profanity and deliver the message. That verse I just gave y'all, that was for Empire because Lee wanted to address what was going on in our community. Our racial and social issues.
You doing something with Empire? You didn't speak on that.
Yeah. Empire.
90 seconds or less. Go ahead.
Empire. The single was out now. Born to Lose on iTunes. We looking to do 6 more episodes, Lord willing, on Empire. But I was on Empire for 2 episodes. Did the Pepsi commercial, major. Shout out to Lee Daniels. Shout out to Fox. Shout out to the whole Empire crew for the love and we moving forward, man.
The episodes you shot, they aired already or they coming out?
Yeah, they aired that already. They first episode, second season.
Okay.
Which was that single that spit to y'all, which was me, Jamal, and Yaz on that joint.
Okay.
Written by me, of course.
Okay.
Fire in the hole. So y'all go out and check that out on iTunes, Born to Lose, and look forward to seeing me, man. Support your brother, man.
That's right.
Definitely.
And come to that show on the 16th. We here.
And
July, that's next week.
And again, as I'm closing out, shout to Brenda, who just pulled up an interview. Sean Cross discusses Empire performance and single.
Shout out to Brenda.
Everything. She already texted me while you were talking. What's his name again?
Shout out, hey Brenda, shout you out, man.
Brenda L. Crump.
Shout out to the sister. Shout out to Brenda L. Crump. The love is greatly appreciated, man.
So everything she keeps us up. We talk about something, she posts a flyer.
We need that.
She looks up the research, she pulls it, and I sound like I know all this stuff. Sometimes I'm just reading what she just gave me. But I mean, like she keep me on my toes.
Media, brother. You're part of media, man. This is media.
Yeah, no doubt. But we coming to the close. We are at the close of the show, and I just want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Thank you for having
I hope y'all. The Facebook Live thing was lovely today. So from now on, we're gonna do what we did today. We're gonna share it on all the pages. You ain't gotta stay on the phone and listen. You ain't gotta watch it on Facebook Live, dude. That's the new move right now.
Wow.
You can watch us live. Of course, this show and every other show will be on Black Westchester for you to see as many times as you want. You know what I'm saying? After the fact, most things we talked about today are or will be in blackwestchester.com. And to everybody out there, check out the Rough Rider joint. Check out July 20th, Black Westchester
Black
celebrating the
Westchester anniversary.
2-year anniversary
Two-year
at
anniversary, two-year anniversary, Mangoville,
in
New
New
Rochelle.
Rochelle. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else. We're not gonna talk about Nitro right now. Nothing else. Yeah, okay. So you could be doing anything else right now, but you decided to ride with us, and we greatly appreciate it. And until next week, peace.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nub. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still life of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet.